TG Geeks, episode 146, December 4th, 2017. Sci-fi mythology mashup. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely, weather's finally nice, Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from, but you know, winter is now gone again because
I know.
Today it's going to be in the 80s.
Oh,
so
geez.
therefore winter is gone, Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, winter has gone.
Winter has left us. We
It's
had
not-
it for all of 4 days.
It's not coming.
No, we had winter. It was 4 days long.
Yeah.
And now it's gone.
Well, you know, that happens occasionally.
Yeah.
Well, like a couple of years ago when we had winter between 4 and 6 p.m.
Yeah,
on
4 and 6,
December 3rd or something dumb like that. And
Yeah,
then-
because the high was actually below 80.
Exactly.
And then it was over. That's it.
Yep, that was the year we had no winter. January
Yeah, it was a
in
non-ter.
the 70s and 80s.
It was a non-ter.
Yep, exactly. We've got an interesting interview for you this time, a local author, and we're just going to launch right into it. And this time on the show, we have T.L. Smith, author or authoress, however you want to say that. Welcome to the show, Terry.
Hi there. How you guys doing today?
Good. So the T.L. Smith is Terry L. Smith, but your pen name is T.L. Smith, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So tell us about you. I've read a couple of your books, and you've got quite a few out on the market. So tell us, who is Terry or T.L. Smith, and how did you get into writing?
Oh, how did I get into writing? Well, I've had a mixed background. I started out in the Air Force, worked for the Feds in an investigative group, ran a businesses both here in Arizona and California, and then decided to get a degree. So I came home and became an accountant. And then at one point or another, I injured my back and was told to 30 days of bed rest and drugs is what I blame.
You got into writing
After 3 days of pain pills and Sci-Fi Channel, I'm going, oh my God, I can write better crap than that. No offense to Sci-Fi, but it was going through one of the stages where the bones were chasing people.
I see. Well,
and I'm like,
they were
okay.
having their moment.
That was during the Siffy days.
Yes. So,
yeah, going dinosaur bones chasing people was just, I draw the line there. I can do better. And so I somehow managed to get my recliner in front of the computer, and that was it.
so your writing and what I have read is mostly in the sci-fi realm. And you have some other things that you're writing, right?
I've started a sci-fi mythology fusion.
Ah.
And actually, the first one is a standalone. It's not involved in the fusion series, but it was Native American mythology and sci-fi, colliding down on the Yuma bombing ranges. And it's a near future. And that one kind of spun off a tale that was brought into our ranges down on the Gila Bend Yuma ranges. And yes, we had an episode out on the ranges one day, and the guys came in asking what was going on, and we were telling them nothing, and it was kind of like a Men in Black story. And I just carried that around in my head for years, and then one day it just popped into my head how to use that. And then I've also been working on another one that was a mythology fusion, and it's a series called Playing God. And that one, I just released the first book on it in February. And the next one would be coming out here right before Christmas, called Blood of Gods.
Oh, cool. So I can't remember exactly what I've read of yours. I'm opening my iPad here to see what it was.
I think you have the first 3, which would be Defending Heptagris.
Right.
Scent of Treachery, and then maybe Star People Legacy.
Yes, I had read those 3. That I couldn't remember what exactly. It's like I've read so much in the last couple of years. It's unbelievable. For this Comic-Con that we went to, I came away with 10 books to read. It's like, what?
I've seen you guys go through and buying up the books.
Yeah. So, and we didn't make it.
Didn't make the Fan Fest this year.
Unfortunately, we decided to go to Disneyland instead.
We needed the break.
That's okay.
We had fully intended.
Yeah, we had every intention of going, but the day before was like, we really need we need the break. So, yeah, we did something else. Now, I'm completely, utterly fascinated with this concept of a sci-fi mythology, because mythology usually rests pretty well in the area of fantasy. So without giving away anything that's kind of spoilerish, how are you able to pigeonhole this idea of mythology or anything of a mythological nature into the world of science fiction?
Well, in high school we had to read all the mythology.
Mm-hmm.
That's a watered down version of the real stuff. When you read the uncut versions, it's like those gods were insane.
Oh, the gods are more human than the humans.
I know, Zeus and taking on animal forms to seduce women. I'm like going, I don't know about that.
It's a little bestiality.
Well, there is a little bit of bestiality. Let's not even get into infidelity. It's wow. The gods are unbelievably immoral and jealous.
Yeah. And I'm going, they got to be from another planet.
Exactly.
So you're kind of, I guess you could say you're kind of taking the Star Trek approach, that maybe they're just really, bonkers aliens.
Yeah, aliens playing gods.
Yeah,
is basically it. And I'm exploring some of the different cultures and their mythologies, and then sci-fiing them.
Mm-hmm.
They are aliens playing gods, and we're going to and exploring who's more human, as far as or morally correct, us or them, or some combination therein, because there's your good aliens and then there's your bad aliens.
Right.
And bad covering the entire spectrum, from the immorality to the just disregard for life in itself.
Right.
So that's why they're exploring.
Mm-hmm. So most of your works, as I recall, in Defending Hippocrates. What?
Wow, I'm impressed.
Defending that.
There's the new title.
Didn't one of the characters have an ethnic background? Don't you bring a lot of ethnic background to your characters? Am I losing that, or did I just make that up?
It was definitely brought to my attention. And somebody else said, all your characters, maybe it was you guys, said, all your characters are ethnic? And I'm like, oh my God, I never realized that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because in that one, wasn't she of Native American descent, or?
In Star People Legacy, she believes she's Native American descent. She was raised on a Hopi, on a Navajo reservation. And Defending Heptagris, she's Middle Eastern descent, but she's married to a Hispanic descent.
Right. Yeah. I knew there was some ethnic backgrounds of your characters, and I couldn't remember which was which. It's been a while since I've read those. I read those, 2 years ago. So
yes, Kazan married to a Batista.
yeah. So tell us about the book that is currently you're just ready to release anytime, and when is that exactly supposed to be released?
Well, I'm going through the absolute final edits where I'm looking for the tiniest little things, and I'll still miss things. We all do. And then I'll be uploading it. It'll be available on Amazon, I'm hoping, by the 16th.
Okay, great.
And and it is this, the Playing God, the first of the series, takes place in Greece, Greek mythology. And this one will be taking place in Ireland off of Celtic.
Okay, so what's the name of this one?
Blood of Gods.
Blood of Gods. And can you tell us about that one? What it's?
Oh, yeah.
Without giving away the whole story.
If you're familiar with Celtic mythology, they had this wonderful hero,
Saint Patrick.
And well, no saints here. Well, though this one tends to lean that way. Tulane is how I've been told to pronounce it, and he is a war hero. In the mythologies, he's like 17, but there's no way, which I read in many mythologies, that a 17-year-old can accomplish that much in one lifetime,
right,
and be the father of a grown man. So I'm like, well, obviously they have no sense of timing in mythology.
Mythology, my gosh.
Yes, so I definitely have him as an older but youthful-looking hero, and he would be with the blood of gods running through him. He's what is considered a half-blood. His father will be one of the elders, which is one of the true aliens, and his mother will be the sister of King Conchobar of Ulster County.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's Ulster County. Then they were like kingdoms.
Right.
So he was the high king of Ulster. So he is the blood of royalty as well as the blood of God. And when he gets enraged in battle, he becomes a beast, a real monster.
Interesting.
Capable of wiping out virtually an entire army single-handedly.
Wow.
So, thanks to that blood of God.
Wow. That's fascinating. That really is mythology and gods and monsters, if you will.
And he has to, before he can earn his real birthright, he's pretty much going to have to learn some rules of life himself.
Right.
So basically, the war is war, and it's not a good thing, but sometimes it's necessary, and then sometimes you've got to say no. So, and that's a lesson that I think a lot of people, as they learn, especially if they've been in the military, that sometimes you got to step back and look at the bigger picture.
I'm curious, with this latest, okay, let's use this latest story as an example. Where did that initial spark come from, and what was that initial spark that set you down the path to develop this particular storyline?
Oh my, I've been working on this storyline for a long time, and probably watching some TV show and going, my God, they're crazy. But I kept trying to write it as a novel, where I'm combining all the different stories, different storylines together into one book. And it just wasn't working out. And then one day it dawned on me that these need to be novellas, separate stories. and now they're clicking. Everything's working the way they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's playing nice.
Well, that's
or
good.
not nice.
So that kind of brings us to the question that
the popular question and we have Jeannie to kind of thank for this one. How fully realized are the characters in your books? I mean, are they reached the because like Jeannie has said that when she was like writing the character of Kitty, there's the comment, that her name is Catherine Cat, and her parents call her Kitty, Kitty Cat. Yeah, you can thank my parents for that, but that's what Jeannie was hearing in her head. She was hearing Kitty talk to her. I mean, I'm sure there's a psychological study that can be done on that. But so my question to you is, when writing these characters, how fully realized, how fully fleshed out in your brain are they? Do they have individual voices that you can actually like almost hear in your head, and it's reached to the point where you feel like you're almost taking dictation from them?
Oh, definitely. I've started a new fantasy, and it came to me as completely as a dream. I woke up going, yes, I'm going to give fantasy a try.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
And I sat down, and it started coming out pretty much just like the dream. As far as the characters, I do find myself quite often in the characters when I'm tossing around moral decisions. So, and then sometimes I'm going, yeah, you want to be that way.
Mm-hmm. So at times so it's like maybe you had this initial idea of directing the story or directing a character arc one way, but also the character's like banging inside your brain saying, no.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to those points where I want to take her or him in a direction, and they're like, nope, I've already told you where I'm going with this, and I'll give you any more till you take me there.
Wow. I'm kind of, I'm beginning to wonder if authors maybe have a very unique brain wiring by which they're actually tapping into another universe, and maybe where the story's actually taking place.
Or maybe they're just schizophrenic.
Well, maybe that too, but I was trying to be nice.
Maybe because, I've done I've done a variety of careers, and, it's like from electronics to selling pencils, school supplies. Let me correct that. Crayons. And they were jobs that I could do, but it was more or less, why do I know how to do this type of thing?
Right.
I think there's a lot of prior lives going in there somewhere or something.
Maybe.
You never know. So that's fascinating. I have always wondered how people write like that. It just, I have to think of things to try to be witty and funny and make things up, to get a story across.
Yeah, the idea.
And sometimes it just comes out.
Yeah, the idea of being able to write fiction. I write, but I don't write fiction. I write articles, I write stories, I report. But being able to write fiction, that requires an unusual way of being able to think. And it's something that I'm very envious of, because, you, Jeannie, and other authors that we've spoken to, they all pretty much, the good ones all say the same thing, that these characters are all in their heads and they're all talking to them on some level or another. And that's just something I find endlessly fascinating.
Oh, I can be in the zone and totally oblivious to anything going on around me. I've been on airplanes and writing a scene, and people are talking to me, and it's like it takes several minutes for me to realize that they're talking to me.
Ah.
I had one of the stewards trying to get my attention to see if I wanted a drink, and I'm in the middle of a emotional death scene or something, and I'm bent over my tray and I'm typing, and I only have my tablet, so I'm like doing these finger typing as fast as I possibly can. And then I finally realize that somebody's trying to get my attention. And I look up and I'm like, what?
Oh, my gosh.
And she was like, "You like a drink?" I was like, "No." I'm almost in tears as I'm writing this scene. And she's like, "Okay."
Did you tell him later that you were writing an emotional scene?
I don't know. I guess she saw the tablet. Maybe she thought I was sending a Dear John letter or something.
Who knows?
She's so emotional.
Wow. Take that woman a drink.
Exactly.
Wrong one.
Well, that's interesting that you were able to completely immerse yourself into the writing process while you were on a plane. Is there anything that, or is there any kind of environment that you need to be in order to really just get into that writing mode? Because we know, like with Jeannie, in her case, I mean, it's all about music. There are certain songs and certain artists that can just really drive her. I mean, I remember she told one time about how she played this one artist just on an endless loop, and it was driving her husband Steve completely insane, hearing this over and over and over and over and over again. But it was so fueling her writing. So when you're at your craft, is there something going on that helps you get into that mode, or is it just you just do it?
It depends. It really depends. Like I would take what I would call a sabbatical and go down to Cozumel, and I can sit in Palapa and stare out the ocean blindly, and my fingers are on the keyboard typing, and I'm not even looking at the screen, and I'm just, because the story's going on my head, it's coming out and into my fingers, and I'm watching the ocean, and people are coming by going, "Are you really working?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, what, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah."
That's fantastic.
And then I have to get back into the ocean scene again while I'm typing sci-fi.
Wow.
Which, totally opposite of each other. Or if I'm in a noisy place, I will do the headphones and the music. And my music is Les Mis.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting
Choice. But I guess whatever works for anybody. I mean, there's no right or wrong. I mean, it's whatever fuels the imagination. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was we talked to.
If you're writing a war scene or a death scene or something, Les Mis will take you there.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely emotional, and that roller coaster of love and death and war and all of that combined together.
Well, I suppose that does make for a very good self-contained piece of music to help you in any direction you want to go. Do you find your tastes in music might possibly changing if you know you're going to be going into a different part of the story?
Yeah, I mean, I do have some other music that, sometimes I'll put Les Mis on the loop, and sometimes I'll put my entire album, selections on the loop. And that'll take me anywhere from country and western to the remake of, what was it now? The hard rock guy did a remake of the old Simon Garfunkel song.
Yeah. Was it Sound of Silence?
Sound of Silence.
Sound of Silence,
God,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
The remake, that remake is fabulous. Now it'll come up on my headphones, and I'll be in the middle of something. Oh, no, got to play that a couple times.
Yeah.
I'll take it back and replay it till I, got through the scene or something.
Right. So let me ask this question. This book, Blood of Gods, is going to be released, you say, hopefully on the 16th. So we're right on the cusp of that. Are you technically self-published, or do you have a publisher and then you load that up, or what would you consider yourself?
Right now, I'm technically self-published. However, I do have an agent, and she is shopping currently 3 novels, 2 of which are first of series. And she's about to get, if my beta reader gets my items back, my book back to me in December, she will get the 4th book in a series, which is a take on Lethal Weapon in Space.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
And I had written that originally back, oh God, it was literally my first published item was The Thing Down the Road, and it was a novelette. And people loved it. And then thanks to Jeannie, Jeannie was, after she read it, she goes, this is a series, and you need to rewrite it and send it to our agent, because I have the same agent as Jeannie, Jeannie Cotton. And so I did, and the agent loves the story, but she wanted a rewrite on part of it. So that's what I'm waiting on from the beta reader to make sure it flows right, and then I'll get it back to her.
Wow.
So, and Jeannie held it up to me, and she goes, this is Lethal Weapon in Space. And I'm like, oh, my God, it is.
Fascinating. So this sounds like things are really moving forward, and you're a local here to Phoenix, and you are also kind of... You seem to be the instigator of this, what is it, Amazing Wicked Writers, is that?
Amazing Wicked Writers, yes. It started out a couple of years ago with 3 tables at Comic-Con, at Phoenix Comic-Con, and I had made this comment a year or 2 before that when my name came up, I was going to take as many tables as I could and bring all my friends.
Right.
And if 2018 will be 14 tables.
Wow.
So we're looking at 14 to 20 authors going to be at Phoenix Comic-Con in the awe section. We have our whole island to ourselves.
Wow, that is pretty cool. Yeah, so
people just have to look for the land of awe.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So you kind of helping local authors, or maybe not so local authors, sell their wares.
There's a few from out of state. Yeah, there's a few from out of state coming, and but most of them are local authors.
Cool.
But like I do have someone coming from Vegas, and I have someone coming from New Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So we're all kind of like the southern quarter of the country here, right?
Right.
So you've got...
Yeah, and that's the concept of authors helping authors.
Oh, cool. So you've got the Book of Gods, as you said, that's going to be coming out. Blood of Gods. I'm sorry, I just scanned that really quick. Blood of Gods. That's coming out shortly before Christmas. Is there anything else that is, anything else coming down the horizon, or any new things that you're going to be starting on that maybe some of us can start looking forward to in the future?
Well, I did use, whether you're aware of the contest, if you want to call it that, they have a thing called NaNoWriMo.
Right.
November is National Novel Writing Month, and I kind of use that to experiment with new stuff. Mm-hmm. So I did November, on top of all the editing that I've been doing, I used November to try my hand at fantasy. Mm-hmm. So I will be handing that off for the first beta read here in December, and if they feel it has the right bones, that's what I'll be working on. So I will hopefully be taking my first dive into fantasy.
That's cool.
And then I'll probably Caged, which is the rewrite of The Thing Down the Road, that will be going to the agent in December, knock wood. And then I'll probably be starting or wrapping up the 3rd book in the Playing God series, which will either be Native American or Indian. I haven't decided.
Wow.
So I have stories started on both continents.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And you have an Amazon page, is that correct? Or no?
Yes. Amazon under T.L. Smith in science fiction, because there is another T.L. Smith, and she writes erotic romance, and she's out of Australia.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So T.L. Smith in science fiction.
Yeah, you gotta look for the science fiction. Otherwise, you might be a little shocked opening that book and it's not science fiction.
Well, it might be a little sciencey and it might be a little fictitious, but never the two shall meet.
Yeah, it's neither science nor fiction. Discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to take, the erotic to another, yeah. Jeannie Koch would do the erotic panel at Phoenix Comic-Con. Yeah.
Yeah, we remember those.
Oh, yes.
But, she could probably qualify to be on that board.
Interesting. Yeah, fascinating.
Okay, so before we get ourselves into any ethical trouble that might slap an explicit tag onto this episode, you've already talked about your Amazon page, T.L. Smith Science Fiction. Is there any other place in social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, any place on the interwebs, that somebody could find you there to read about your work or anything else that you're doing in the future?
I do have a Twitter account under T.L. Smith Books.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a blog of T.L. Smith Books as well. My website is Shooting Stars and Bad Guys.
That's an easy one.
That's my tagline, Shooting Stars and Bad Guys.
Okay.
All in a day's work. So if you've seen me at the cons, you've seen that banner behind me.
Right.
And on there, of course, will be all my books. And, it's like you click on one of those, it'll take you right to the Amazon page. That way you won't get the erotic stuff out of Australia.
Yeah, there you go.
I like Facebook. I'm under T.L. Smith Books also there. So, yep, that's the the locations you can find me. And see what's going on. Like the page, like the books. Yeah. Of course, every author, we always say, if you like our books, go on to, Amazon and leave a rating.
Right.
Well, if you don't like our books, go on to Amazon and leave a rating.
Right. It's all about ratings and reviews.
Oh, don't we know?
They only count the ratings. They don't count the number of them. They just count how many you get, not what ratings they are.
Right.
But so far I've gotten good ratings on Amazon, so cool. I'm happy.
Well, I've liked everything that you've read, or I've liked everything that I have read of yours. So I have a couple.
And I appreciate that. You guys come by and visit every time.
Yeah.
We're at the same events, so and you visit all my other authors when I bring them.
Exactly. And I can wind up with more books to read after Comic-Con.
Yeah, you better bring a big bag with you here in 2018.
Absolutely.
I got everything from witches to sharks.
Witches to sharks. Oh, my gosh.
Huh.
Well,
that adds a whole new idea to the sci-fi Sharknado series.
Yeah.
Well, no, we do have our Shark Man. Now, he was at this year's Comic-Con, so, and he really, you'd be surprised. I mean, people see sharks, they got to go over and find out.
Interesting.
But poetry for sharks, by sharks. But, he's part of the crew now. And I said, so why not have a little real life in there, but down under the ocean.
Okay, I'm fascinated with that idea. Poetry by sharks for sharks. I mean, I can only imagine that haiku. Chomp, 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 chomp.
The Clute is his pen name. The Clute, Alute.
Right.
And like I said, he's a character, so definitely. But like I said, we'll have 14 to 20 authors this coming Comic-Con, and we're covering everything fantasy, paranormal, mythologies, science fictions, fusions therein, and sharks.
So all the genres are being represented.
Yes, everything is being represented. Well, this has been a fascinating interview, and thank you, Terry, for being on the show.
Yes, thank you very much.
This time.
Well, thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Hello, this is T.L. Smith, author of Playing God, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
And here's a few selected birthdays for December 4th through December 10th, 2017. December 4th, Jeff Bridges.
Who only plays himself now.
Yeah.
Every movie he's
I knew you were
in,
gonna say that.
he's playing himself.
And you know, an interesting thing is that he's been married. He's one of those Hollywood couples that's been married forever.
Forever.
And, you know, it's just amazing
Yeah.
that happens. Also on December 4th, Marissa Tomei and Tony Todd.
Klingon.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Among other things. December 5th, Jose Carreras, famed opera singer who had cancer and beat that.
Beat that and came back and
singing
still
again.
and yeah, good going, Jose.
Yeah. Also on December 5th, Werner Heisenberg. I'm really uncertain about why he's on this, but
Ba-dum-bum.
and Otto Preminger and Walter Elias Disney.
Oh, is that an actual man?
Yes, it is.
Wow, I thought it was just a place.
No, Disneyland.
I know,
place.
but and the sad thing is, people actually, especially the young people today, they have no idea that there was really a man named Disney.
Yeah, Uncle Walt.
Uncle Walt, yeah.
It's amazing. Before I get a little verklempt here.
Uh-huh.
December 6th, Philip K. Dick. Agnes Moorehead.
Andorra.
Oh, shoot. Where's my Andorra?
You lost it.
I lost it. Anyway. And Ryan White. December 7th, Gerhard Kuiper. For the Kuiper Belt.
The Kuiper Belt.
He discovered the Kuiper Belt. And a high school classmate of mine, Julie Stiglitz-Regal.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Gerard Kuiper was a classmate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, not quite. And a friend of ours in the United Kingdom, Darren Daz Anderson.
Happy birthday, Darren.
Happy birthday, Darren. December 8th, Maximilian Schell.
Black hole.
I put him on here just
to
for
drive
that.
me crazy.
Yes.
Yes, he was Dr. Reinhardt.
Yes. Also on December 8th, Terry Hatcher.
We met her. Well, I met her.
Yeah, well, yeah, you did. And then but she walked right by us at the Paramount Studios.
Did she?
Yes.
I actually don't remember that.
Yeah.
I remember Terry Farrell.
Oh, Terry Farrell. That's right. Terry Farrell. But
Farrell walked
Terry,
by us at
Terry
Paramount.
Hatcher, yeah.
But Terry Hatcher, we were at DCA. You went into the bathroom that's right next to Animation Studios, and there she was with her daughter doing photos. And it turns out she was actually there for a reason. But I went up to her and said, would you mind so much if I took a photo? Oh, sure. She was absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And she's shorter than me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Also on December 8th, Kwai Chang Caine.
You mean David Carradine?
Oh, yes, David Carradine, sorry. He's just so became that part for the rest of his life.
I don't know. Now he's Bill.
Well, yeah, but...
As in Kill Bill.
Actually, he's dead, so...
Okay, if you want to go down that dark path.
Yeah. And another one is Sammy Davis Jr. and Flip Wilson, one of the first, I guess you could call transvestites on TV.
Oh, Geraldine.
Geraldine. He was just a real hoot. Also on December 8th, Rick Baker, famed makeup artist. And George Méliès.
Oh, man, I feel like... And we just watched Hugo not that long ago, but I feel like we need to watch it again.
Yeah. And, half of what we do, we wouldn't be doing.
It wouldn't be because of... It's because of him. The legacy that George left us is... it's more than just a legacy. He literally transformed the world.
Yep, he certainly did. December 9th, John Malkovich, Margaret Hamilton.
I'll get you, my pretty.
And Donny Osmond.
Who almost fell in my lap, and that's not an exaggeration. My mother and I went to see Donnie and Marie. We're talking early 80s. This is like summer of 84. We'd gone to the county fair because Donnie and Marie were going to be doing a show there. In fact, it was the first time in county fair history they had to actually add a third show because the demand was so hot. So we caught the latest showing. And it's that part of the show where Donnie's actually wandering the audience, and he's singing his old teeny bopper hits, Go Away Little Girl. And at one point, he's finally met up to where we're at, and he's doing Puppy Love. And I'm talking, there were like middle-aged women just groping. It was really, really weird to see. And he's standing on the bleachers in the amphitheater that we were at, right next to me. And they started groping him so badly, he was starting to fall in my direction. I mean, he was going to land on me when a security guard jumped up and grabbed him, a female security guard. And once he realized that he was okay, he then put his arms around her and then crooned her. Sang the rest of Puppy Love to her, which...
And you wanted him to grab you and sing Puppy Love?
No, not really. No, believe it or not, I did not find him. No, I think he's a really great guy. He's a surprisingly great musician that a lot of people don't know. In fact, all of the Osmonds are phenomenal musicians that people just don't realize. But I never thought of Donnie in that way.
Well, other birthdays on December 9th are Joshua Bell, famed violinist.
Fabulous violinist.
Yeah, we at the Musical Instrument Museum, they had a little thing on Joshua Bell, and he's been playing as a virtuoso or a prodigy since he was 6 or 7, something like that. They had a little thing of him when he was playing much younger. It's amazing. I'm in awe. Also, Michael Dorn, Dame Judy Dench. Dame Judy Dench.
You said duty.
Yeah, I said duty. And Simon Helberg, who actually I was amazed that in Florence Foster Jenkins.
Oh my gosh, yes, he really played the piano.
He played every bit of the piano music that is in there that he's actually playing.
Right.
So, yeah. Also, Kirk Douglas will be 101.
He is still with us.
I know. He'll be 101.
Amazing.
Hopefully, he doesn't die before this episode is released.
That would be embarrassing.
Yeah. Also, on December 9th, a friend of ours that we met at Horrible Imagining Films Festival, Anthony DeGioia, whose Silver Screen Analysis on YouTube.
On YouTube. Gives some really good reviews, and it's not just horror. I mean, it's all sorts of films in various genres.
Yes. Also on December 10th, Kenneth Branagh, César Frank, composer, and friend in Calgary, Kurt Unruster.
Kurt in Calgary, that's right.
Yeah. And I missed something on December 7th. December 7th is actually the day that hopefully we will officially be trademarked.
So, keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, so hopefully next time we'll have a little trademark R there. So, and that's it for the birthdays this time.
The Red Legion took away our home. Dominus Gaul has stolen our light. But from the ashes, a fire team of guardians rise to...
Guardian down.
Wait. Who was that?
Titan, no jump good.
This is Happy Hour from the Tower. I'm T.
I'm Nick. I'm Brandon.
And we're going to talk about all things Destiny. Why we play.
Why we love punching aliens in the face.
And why T's aim needs a little bit of work.
Have you got that? Say you've got it. Say something.
A podcast for players of all levels. Find Happy Hour from the Tower on iTunes, Stitcher, or at happyhourfromthetower.com. Eyes up, Guardian. Time to give up the ghost. It's Happy Hour from the Tower. First round's on us.
Go give a listen to our friend T and crew over at Happy Hour from the Tower, a Destiny podcast. And now, it's time for a little bit of...
Feedback.
Oh, feedback.
Yeah, I just watched Scrooge the other night and got a little. You're channeling your inner Bill Murray.
Well, actually, and the monster from Little Shop of Horrors.
Well, yeah, but but Bill Murray he refers to that at the end of that. Feed me, Seymour. Anyway. Starting back with episode 145. Now, I was giving Brian Weber some love with some of the sites that he has, including his incorrect Star Trek Voyager now you got me doing it. Incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes on Tumblr, and I said that it was
animated.
I said it was a naughty website. And he came back
with... Tumblr can be a naughty website.
Well, it can be. Well, let's see what Brian has to say on this. He says, a naughty website? Jeez, Ben, it's just incorrect quotes, not porn. Okay, now let me jump in on that. I'll finish off the rest of this. However, Brian, there are some workplaces that would they would terminate you if they saw you reading some of this stuff because... it's all textual, but there is some very, there's some very bad things on there from time to time. I mean, yes, of course they're incorrect, but there is some, by office standards, some of those quotes will be considered naughty. Hence, I called it naughty. Anyway, not that porn doesn't exist on Tumblr. Heck, you can find it by accident. Something I know all too well. How come I got a funny feeling I'm going to have to poke my inner eye out? Nothing like finding Wincest porn in the feed when you're doing a search on Florence and the Machine. Okay, to me that seems funny. Once you've seen pencil drawings of Jensen Ackles having sex with Jared Padalecki, you can't unsee it.
Oh, dear.
I don't want to unsee that. No, but be that as it may. Okay, we'll just go with that. And then moving right along, we're going to talk a little bit about this general subject in a little bit, but earlier this week, last week, we posted an Avengers Infinity War trailer tease.
Yes, a tease for the trailer.
Tease for the trailer.
Oh my!
And we got a response from Craig Stepp of he's the Technorama +1, I guess you would call him that. He's not Mrs. Technorama, that's Donna, and he's not Mr. Technorama, that's Chuck. So I guess that makes him Mr. Technorama adjacent?
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
+1.
Or +1, adjacent. And he says, gah! I hate these teases before trailers. Just give me the trailer. Well, as it so happens, we did the very next day. We did give you the trailer. And we got a response from good friend Scott Linder. Hey, Scott, it's been a long time since we heard from you. Great to hear from you again. And he says, in the words of George Takei, oh my. Okay. Yeah. And then we also had another first look for The Disaster Artist. And we got a comment from Hamish.
Now, we have to preface this. In the article that I wrote for this Disaster Artist trailer that we said, it's about a movie that's supposedly the worst
god-awful bad.
The worst movie ever made. It's called The Room. And I had posted in the article, I said, I thought The Oscar was the worst movie ever made. And so I said, after seeing this trailer, I might have changed my mind.
Indeed. So Hamish comes back with, so The Oscar didn't receive an Oscar? Waka, waka, waka. I'll see myself out.
Yeah. No, it did not.
No, it didn't. And really, if you want to see just a hideously awful, awful, awful movie, watch The Oscar, and the beautiful thing about it is that it's co-written by Harlan Ellison.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
It is a piece of trash.
It is. So anyway, that's our feedback for today. And if you want to give us some feedback, or if you want to comment on any of our episodes or articles or anything, you can do that on Facebook, on tggeeks.com, on any article or episode. You can comment on Twitter, and you can also give us a call at 469-TGGeeks. That is 469-844-3357. And remember, please play nice. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to kind of be saving up our feedback because we're going to take a little vacation. We're trying to get some episodes in the can so we can take a little vacation at the end of December.
But please leave the feedback.
Please leave the feedback.
I mean, if there's something
we will be collecting it.
Yeah, if there's something you want to comment on, please, by all means, go ahead and do it. just because we're won't be hearing it doesn't mean that we're not doing it anymore. We would like to collect all that feedback and do another feedback-a-palooza if possible.
We would love that.
So if you got something that you want to comment on, as Keith says, please play nice. But by all means, yes, leave it.
Yeah, and we're going to actually be having some. Hopefully, Ro is trying to come up with an idea to add some polls into some of our articles.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And so create a little bit more interaction with people. So be looking for that. And that's it for the feedback.
This is Mark Biaggi, and you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks webcast.
So as I mentioned earlier, yes, we finally have the Avengers Infinity War. We'll have the link for that trailer and the article that the trailer is in the show notes for this particular episode. But yeah, wow, what did we think about that?
It was pretty cool.
I was really dazzled by it. It's clearly not the same bit of footage that's been circulating around. Circulating, yeah. Or percolate. It's percolating.
It's percolating.
Yeah, yeah. It's a nuclear percolating.
Stop.
Yeah, I knew that would get you. But no, it has been making the rounds on the internet since San Diego Comic-Con. I think it was San Diego. Oh, no, D23.
D23, yes.
It was D23 that finally started making the rounds. Not the same footage. I mean, there are bits of it here and there, but this was, and I don't know why they didn't release that publicly, to be honest, but the Russo brothers didn't want that one to go out. So they've got this finally. I mean, we've been hearing about a trailer coming down the pike. They finally got it. Different, but interesting. I would say that there's a couple of things that looked a little spoilery in how Thanos is getting his hands on these Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
There was one in particular that looked really spoilery to me.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder the future of a certain character or characters.
Well, you know how they cut trailers together.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, if this movie, and I'm not going to say anything, but I actually know how the story ends. If they're going to follow the comic book, then it's not going to matter. I will say that much. If it goes anywhere like what the comic book is going to do, then it won't matter one bit at all. But I would say it looks really interesting, and I think the real jewel of this movie is not necessarily going to be the epic battle, although I think some of it will play into that. I mean, there looks like there's a big fight taking place in Wakanda in the trailer. But I think it's more going to be about the character interactions. You know, like seeing Doctor Strange maybe work side by side with Spider-Man. Things like that. So I think that's really where the magic is going to be, is seeing some of these characters who have not crossed over yet, one to the other, watching them have that interaction. I think that's going to be the fun. You know, it's like in the last Thor Ragnarok, watching Chris Hemsworth act opposite Benedict Cumberbatch it was a short scene, but it was very enjoyable.
Right.
So I think that's really where the fun is going to be. It's seeing these people work together. But I will say this, when it comes to directing action, the Russo brothers know how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, so far they're 2 for 2. So I have a funny feeling that if the trailer is any indication as to how good the movie will be, I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, what were some of the takeaways that you had?
I only really watched it that one time, and so even though I cut it together and did all this other stuff with it, I never had an opportunity to look at it again after we watched it. But I think it's going to be really interesting. It's definitely action-packed.
Oh, yeah, and we're less than 6 months away. Or maybe 6 months.
May 4th.
Yeah, May 4th. Okay, so we're at 6 months pretty much.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm really excited to see that one. So now, moving on, we did make a mention of trailers and first looks. Now, so what are we doing on our website and also on our YouTube channel about that?
We're trying to increase our YouTube channel and get some more follows and things like that, and looks and views and whatnot.
We're expanding our brand name.
Yeah, so we actually have access to the official source trailers for a lot of upcoming things, and we're going to be doing various releases of those trailers, whether it's a first look or a coming soon, or as I had said with the Infinity trailer teaser, it would be a fanboy moment. So we have, that little dog that we put in the corner, or a little icon that we put in the corner. So we're
Dog?
Yeah, well, that's a kind of a...
Is that a slang term?
Slang technical term. So we're going to have a lot of those. One that's coming up that I'm in the process of working with right now is one of the trailers for Black Panther. So you were talking about Wakanda, and that's going to be a coming soon. So hopefully we'll have that released. And as trailers get released, we'll kind of brand them and stick them out there in an article and on our YouTube channel. So check out our YouTube channel for interesting trailers and whatnot.
Awesome.
So, and last but not least on this segment,
since we were talking about Craig's step a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
Mr. Technorama adjacent, or the +1.
Mr. Technorama himself has released a thing on YouTube, and we'll stick it in the article for the show notes. And it's Chuck's nerdiest things. It's a
bit of a send up of my favorite things
Yes.
from Sound of Music.
It is to be experienced. So please check it out. We'll have a link to that in our show notes. So check out Chuck's nerdiest things. And as always, we got a few follow-up items. Check out our calendar on the website. We got birthdays and cons, film festivals. If you have something that you want us to talk about, send us a note. We'll put it in the calendar and we'll mention it on the show. Phoenix Comic-Con returns to the Convention Center on May 24th through the 27th, 2018. Check out phoenixcomiccon.com for additional information. Arizona Opera presents Candide, Leonard Bernstein's opera featuring the famed Glitter and Be Gay. This production is part of the worldwide celebration of Bernstein's 100th anniversary. The 100.
The 100.
Yes. In Tucson, January 27th and 28th, and in Phoenix, February 2nd through the 4th. Tickets will be are still available at azopera.org. And speaking of Mr. Technorama, check out the 3rd edition of Podcasting for Dummies, written by our friend T. Morris and Chuck Tomasi. Go to podcastingfordummies.com. And as we have been recently, we want to give a big shout out to GoDaddy for the great products and customer service they provide. They are our new web hosting provider, and they are outdoing our previous one.
Oh, my word.
By you cannot believe.
We are so unbelievably happy for you guys. Thank you.
Yes. And we are huge supporters of independent creators, whether that's filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or other. There's a tremendous amount of talent out there that doesn't get the big fame or fortune. So if you see somebody doing crowdfunding or trying to raise money for some kind of project, please consider supporting those independent creators.
Special shout out to Doctor Who Talking Who on Twitter and the Human Arkle on Twitter. They post, they have their own little paperly articles that they put out, and each one republishes our own content.
Yay.
With Doctor Who Talking Who, they have the Doctor Who Fancast Guide. The Human Arkle, he has the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News. You can find them on Twitter by going and looking for either at Talking Who or at Arkle. And yes, I did talk about that naughty website, the
It's
incorrect
naughty.
Star Trek Voyager.
Wicked
It is
bad,
naughty,
naughty.
wicked bad, naughty website. The incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes that
They're
must be
not that
stamped.
bad.
No, it's not that bad. But seriously, I mean, I have read the content. You don't want to be doing that if you're working, if you're at the office and you're at a public computer and you've got that website up. Well, that's on you.
Yeah, because you can stumble across things on Tumblr, as Brian said. So just best to do that at home. And we want to give a shout out to The Lookie Show. The twins are a hoot, and they give us some love on Twitter, but more especially their show on YouTube, Lookie Show. They have a very unique way of presenting movie reviews and television reviews.
I wonder if they ever did the black hole.
I don't know.
Ah, God, I would love that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Check it out.
Special shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, for allowing us to post our episodes on their page. It's a really great page. And again, I say this every week, but I say because it's true. The content is great. The people are great. I really love that page a great deal, and some really great conversation as well.
Yeah.
It's more geeky than it is gay, but sometimes some of the content's more gay than geeky. But in any case, it's got great stuff there. So you can find it by going to facebook.com/group/thegaygeek. And as always, very special thanks to moderator Jeremiah Reeves for giving us his blessings and sharing our episodes there.
Thank you, Jeremiah. We want to remind you to occasionally click on one of our Amazon ads. It doesn't cost anything. We have search ads on the bottom of each of our articles, as well as widgets on the side. And if there's some specific things that we're talking about in an episode, we'll run those Amazon ads there. So thanks for your consideration. And lastly, check us out on iHeartRadio. Please rate us and review us on iTunes and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be adding some new things to that, and we want to share it all with you. Up next time, we're going to have another director of a film that we just watched. We're getting ready to do that interview, so check it out next time. We'll have a really neat interview for you. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We're going to have several links on the page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.